over the weekend I saw a movie, and it was a horror movie. Horror in quotes. Horror in quotes. It was not a good movie. It was not a good movie, Chad. I'm just gonna start it. I'm just gonna say it fresh off the bat. I know it's been critically acclaimed. Absolute cinema. Absolute doggy poo poo. So the movie is Longlegs. Okay, I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. I'm gonna give you guys like my pretty much subjective view on everything, my experience with it, and then you guys, and then you guys can make a decision if you want to see the movie for yourself. Okay, so Longlegs, I highly don't recommend watching trailers, because nowadays the trailers spoil like everything. So I'm like, don't even watch those trailers. It's about a mystery, like it's quote unquote a horror movie, but I think this movie, it's very weak story wise. I think it leaves a bit, like, it's a bit lacking. I'm gonna say that. So I think this is one of the hardest things when you review something without spoiling. Like, story wise, I'm just gonna give you guys a number. It's gonna be 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, and I'm not gonna say any more, because I feel like some might spoil it. I know some people still want to watch it. Some of their friends hyped it up. And again, is this a suspense thriller? Yes, this is the new suspense thriller that's like critically acclaimed as like an amazing movie or whatever. Again, my taste is very subjective. Heck, I might not even be a good movie person, let alone like horror movie reviewer, right? I enjoy some horror movies. I didn't enjoy The Conjuring, so if you don't enjoy The Conjuring, maybe you'll be like, oh yeah, that's like, more your taste, and you trust my score more. Or if you're like, oh yeah, I really like The Conjuring, this guy didn't like The Conjuring, then maybe I still might like this movie, right? But overall, I'm gonna give this, out of 10, I'm gonna give this a 2. Lacking. Pretty low. Ain't watching it now. I just, when I walked out the movie theater, like I looked. I was with my SL, and we were looking at each other like, and then we walked a little bit before like discussing it. It wasn't the best. Okay. If you didn't know, certain actors are in it. It's just, I saw the audience's rating as low. 2 out of what? 2 out of 10. And again, I'm using 5 as average, and it's 2 out of 10. Okay. I would have to say, even though the story didn't hold up, the actors killed it. Chat. I gotta say that the actors, they did great. With what they had to work with, I think it was fantastic. So for writing, right, the story, like, I'm gonna put writing as part of story. Like, characters, motivations driven, like, all that, that's part of story. It's questionable throughout, and part of it doesn't get explained. Like, I'm just gonna leave that story. The acting, however, the individual performances provided by the actors, here, 9. Absolute cinema when it comes to acting. Filmography, I'm gonna put that in style. See, chat, I'm not a very good movie reviewer, right? I'm just the guy that watches a lot of YouTube video, and I enjoy a lot of videos and movies. So I saw a movie this weekend. I thought I'd let you guys know before you guys are like, waiting on the fence. Maybe you want to wait until it's on DVD, or if it somehow lands on some Russian website, you guys will be like, click, oops, now it's on my screen. I get to watch it for free. Then maybe check it out. I don't know. I'm not advocating against or for it, right? I'm just saying from my experience, you guys know what I like, right? Like, we enjoy Pyramid Game. We enjoyed, like, other types of things. But this is, like, this is based off my, like, preferences and tastes, right? So it's super subjective. Someone else might look at it and be like, the acting was terrible, but I thought the acting was great. I'm like, ooh, yes. Yes. Was it scary, though? No. It was not scary for me. So, in terms of style, so what I'm putting in style, this is going to be super subjective. This whole thing, all of it is subjective. How the scenes are shot, the color coding, all that. I'm putting all that in style. Notice how, like, I barely cared if it's a horror movie, because I wasn't scared. So I'm not even going to give it a score there. Like, I wasn't even scared throughout. I was questioning things, but, like, it hooks me. Like, it got me to the next point at a lot of parts of the movie. I didn't walk out, chat. I watched the whole thing. I didn't walk out. There were some jump scares, but I didn't, I might have been like the theater I was in. Like, it wasn't dark enough. Like, I could see the guy in front of me, and I could see like everyone around me. So maybe it was the theater that took away from it, right? But the jump scares to me didn't really like provoke a response. But in terms of the style, how the movie was shot, there were some amazing scenes shot in the movie. This won't spoil anything, but there are some shots where like they're in another room and they shoot like someone opening the door, right? And then it's through like another room looking at a door. So you get like a little glimpse into what is happening, but you get like a lot of wall. So it's like kind of keeping things mysterious. I like that style. There were some shots where like they're in a car and you couldn't see anything. And then the light goes by and it like illuminates the figures in the car. And you're like, oh, that's who's in the car. Okay. So style wise, I think this movie is shot really well. Like really, really well. There were some funky things they did with the camera. Were you psychologically scared though? No. Without spoiling it, I'm just gonna say that it leans on something, and if you're not into something, then you might lose you know. But in terms of style, I would have to say the movie is shot very well. Oh my god, they do a thing. Like every movie has some type of flashback, right? They do a thing where all the flashbacks are shot a certain style. It's like you'll notice it right away, which is super cool. Oh, they play with like the aspect ratio. So some scenes are like full, like HD wide width, like Asian POV. And then other scenes are like squared, and it's super cool. And that's like it slowly expands. It does the cool thing that they do in Under Ninja, where like they use the black borders. In terms of so that's style. I think this movie is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. The things they do in this movie are done well in terms of like the very individual things they're executing. In terms of special effects and sound effects, I would give it 8. I would say like the sound effects more so than the special effects. Because in terms of these, right, horror movies are technically, in terms of comparison to all the other movies, horror movies are the lower budget movies for sure. You can't argue that. The whole entire industry of horror movies is created based on low budgetness. And it's like, there's sci-fi horror, which is like a lot more high budget, but in terms of regular horror movies, they're usually much lower budget, because that's just the way the whole industry was created, was based off people who had like low budget and they want to create something and scare you based off like just shooting scenes in people's houses and whatnot. Overall, sound effects, special effects, pretty good. So I never watched the trailer for this movie, so some spoilers up ahead. I didn't realize in the trailer that Nicolas Cage didn't even show up. I thought he was like part of the trailer, because in the movie they show Nicolas Cage pretty early on. Nicolas Cage just shows up and you're like, oh, like, is this the killer or whatever? They kind of don't really go into it. I'm not gonna try to spoil any more, but just know that I will be talking about Nicolas Cage here and his roles in the movie. His name is on the poster. It's in the trailer, like names, it's in the credits, but depending on which trailer you watch, you don't hear him, you don't see him. So I didn't know that. Slight spoilers, but not too much. Yeah, I just want to put that out there. I love that there's a separate score for Nick. Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Here's the thing, and it's even here in the poster. Nicolas Cage is one of the actors. Now, if you don't know, chat, Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. So Nicolas Cage just starts doing Nicolas Cage things at some points, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing? But there's a beauty to this. There's okay, Nicolas. What Nicolas Cage do we get? Let me do my impression of Nicolas Cage, which is probably not even the line that he says when he does this, but I will do this for you guys. I will give you my Nicolas Cage impression from Longlegs. Oh, Chad! Oh! Alright, so that's Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage in comedy is Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage in suspense is Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage by himself is jumps laugh my ass jump scare. I guess part of it. You could say that Nicolas Cage is the jump scare. He does some. There are some shocking scenes. There are some cool scenes with Nicolas Cage. I have you in the background, and that brought you to the foreground. But yeah, the Nicolas Cage thing. He's so Nicolas Cage.
Thoughts on Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage is just crazy.
So in terms of Nicolas Cage, the weird thing is, I've seen him in one other movie where he like goes full Rambo against like a cult or something. So that was the only other suspense movie I've seen him in. So this is my second time experiencing Nicolas Cage in this type of format, like a suspense / horror, right? But if you think about it in real life, Nicolas Cage is horrifying because you can't tell what he is. Is he a good actor? Is he a bad actor? You know, like the whole like meme on Community where Abed goes crazy trying to define Nicolas Cage within the confines of like an assignment, and then he goes crazy because you just can't. Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. You either love him or you hate him, right? So in terms of doing Nicolas Cage things, it's very interesting that he comes across as a little, you know, he can do horror. He can do horror. The impression gave me Creepy Creature from Pan's Labyrinth. I think that might be what they were going for. But I don't think it's a spoiler because they show it in the trailer, which is kind of a spoiler, right? In a sense. But yeah, Nicolas Cage is in this movie. If you enjoy Nicolas Cage, you'll enjoy his performance. I don't think Nicolas Cage lets you down. I'm trying to think in recent movies, which is the one with Pedro Pascal. He was great in that too. So in terms of Nicolas Cage, he's caging. So that's my score for Nicolas Cage. He's Cage. So this is that's my score. So final score, chat. I'm not even gonna average this. I'm just gonna weight the Cage based on everything else. I think Longlegs is a 6. I've seen worse movies. I didn't like the story that much, but overall my eyes were entertained. My Cage got caged. It's fine. It's fine. Too bad the story is too... But that's just like personal gripes I have with the story. I think if you watch it, you might be like, okay, that's good, right? So if anyone in chat watched it or something, like if you agree, don't agree, just let me know. No spoilers, you know, I want to keep it like... Because there's still some people that haven't seen it, or a lot of people, because this just came out. So that's my review. But Cage was Cajun. I'm not talking about like the Cajun seasoning, you know, like that you get at Popeyes. I'm talking about just like he's Nicolas Cage. So, well, I would say like the descriptions that they give the movie is pretty accurate. It's like a suspense horror kind of thing. Like right away, right at the first scene, you follow like an investigation and kind of thing. Are you gonna do a weekly movie review? If I watch a movie every week, yeah. I might even review some things I've seen before that I rewatched, just because I never reviewed it before. But if I come across it, I thought this was just interesting to bring up, because this is pretty recent, it's pretty topical. I know some people are looking forward to it, some people are like on the fence about it. I think there's a lot of hype for this. And it's a lot of marketing. They have to market it, right? Even, let's just say you're a Hollywood studio and you release a bad movie, you're still gonna market it, right? If you release a really good movie, you're gonna market it. Release a bad movie, you're probably gonna still market it, you know? At the end of the day, you get people through the door. I mean, it was still a good movie, but if you're like, hey, do you want to rewatch Longlegs or rewatch Spider-Man? I'll just rewatch Spider-Man. Like, I think Spider-Man's a better rewatch. I personally think this doesn't have that much rewatch potential because I didn't enjoy it the first time through. But maybe if I'm bored enough and like I'm stuck in a cabin in the woods and then I walk by and Longlegs is on, then I'll watch it. A 2 story is not a good movie. Again, that's my like subjective opinion, right? Like I watched it, I didn't enjoy it, I didn't enjoy the story. Some other people might watch it and really enjoy the story. But overall, I really did not like it. Not a lot of horror movies are rewatchable, I'm gonna be honest. There's some cult classics, right, that are pretty good, in terms of how it stands. But most of them, yeah, it's a reliance on like the shock factor, and they try to really shock you as much as possible. So I feel like, yeah, horror movies out of all the other genres are probably the least rewatchable for sure. I'd be watching Conjuring yearly, and that's the thing, right? Like, I didn't enjoy Conjuring, so maybe like I'm just not into this type of style movies. But I watched Exuma recently, chat, and I really liked Exuma. Like this was like more mystical, shamanism. But I really enjoy this movie. Maybe I just have like a bias towards Korean directors. But the way they shot, the way the movies are like played out, Exuma was really good. I really enjoyed Exuma. Just did not enjoy Longlegs. Hello. But to each their own. There's gonna be people out there that are like, nah, Longlegs is a cult classic. It's the best. It's the new age Silence of the Lambs. Like people are saying all types of shit on social media, and I just don't vibe with it. And I thought I was being gaslit. I thought like I just didn't understand the movie. But it's hard to not understand the movie. You'll understand when you watch the movie. It's very easy. It's very easy to understand. That's the one with the actual shaman said a ghost was called. Yeah, Exuma. Yeah, that's the shamanism one. Only movie I can't watch again is the Ring Japanese version. Ooh, that makes me want to watch. Yeah, I haven't watched Ring or Grudge actually. Like all the classic horror movies, I've never seen. Midsommar was a slow burn for me. I enjoyed it. I thought it was weird. But I would say Midsommar, I would give it like a 7 for the story for Midsommar. Only take zoom out on review vids of the movie. You mean like the ones with the AI voice, or the people like reviewing it themselves? Because I see a lot of AI like summary channels. I'm not gonna lie, there are some like B-list movies that I just watched a review for instead of watching the actual movie. AI. Oh yeah. I like the Rain comedy. Like Scary Movie 1 through 3. Like Shrek 2 scared me to death. Stop. Entire Shrek movie, chat. But yeah, that's Longlegs. Yeah, I just want to talk a little about that. It was otherwise it was a really hot weekend, chat. Stay cool.